Hello,
What up, Sammy?
Terrence. What's going on, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. I just first off, I just want you to know that you have the honor of being the 12th episode, the final episode of our first season. I finally decided to sit my ass down and make this happen. So, congratulations and thank you.
Let's go. Thank you. I
All
feel
right.
honored
So,
to have.
as always, go ahead and introduce yourself to the listeners, sort of give them an idea of who you are, what you do, and where you're at in the world.
My name is Samy Benyamini from Los Angeles, California. I'm a part-time personal trainer, real estate investor, and just living life.
Okay. Okay. So we know each other obviously, like most of my guests, through the fitness industry, through personal training. Probably met you about, I don't know, I thought 10 years ago out there, maybe
2 years?
10.
Oh yeah. I was about to say you got your numbers mixed up.
No, no,
Yeah,
I said 10 because I think I knew you before I had my first kid, and he's 12 now. So 10 to 12 years. So it's been a little while.
yeah. It's been a minute.
All
Damn, time
right.
flies.
Good to go. We'll get back to the fitness thing because we always talk about that with the guests. I don't want to bore people right now with that. But let's talk about the real estate thing because I guess for me, that's very different for people in the fitness industry to find the time or the motivation, I guess, if you want to use that word, to seek something other than the personal training field so that they don't end up being a 50-year-old trainer, so to speak. Not that anything's wrong with that. If that's your boat, then, let it float. But I think that real estate thing is something that definitely separates you from the rest of the pack. So you want to give us a little bit more information on what started you with that?
Yeah. So I started training a little bit over 10 years ago, and I told myself that it was going to be temporary.
Right.
Um, about I think it was like 6 years in, I'm like, dude, I love this too much. I'm stuck for life. Like, I don't want
Uh,
to stop training.
okay.
But at the same time, I couldn't see myself going into the gym every day, seeing 10 to 12 clients morning till night for the
Right.
rest of my life.
Right.
Just been trying to strategize in a way where I could save time down the line when I do have kids and a family. I will be able to go home at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and spend the rest of the day with them and have residual income coming in.
Okay.
Because I've always thought about, like, let's just say, God forbid, I break both my legs or I get into a car accident and I'm unable to move.
Right.
How am I going to be making money? If you're not in the gym training clients, that money's not coming in.
Right.
So it's like, what else can I do? And I have a lot of friends in real estate, so I ended up sitting down with a couple of them and picked their brains and pulled the trigger about 3 years ago.
Okay.
And now just flipping homes and buying rental properties.
Nice. Sounds good. So I guess your connect was your friend, your network. Birds of a feather flock together, so to speak. So that was a good position for you to be in. Do you think that you would have been able to do that as easily as you make it sound without the network that you have in place?
Without network, I personally think if you're not out there networking and you do not have connections, you're not going to make it out here.
Right.
That's the way I think. So
Okay.
yeah, without my connections and network and the people I do know, I personally think it would be a lot harder to get to where I'm at right now.
Okay.
But it's definitely doable. Like, when you want something, you go after it,
Right. Right.
and there's always ways.
Yeah, I got several clients that I've been training for many, many years now. Pretty successful, financially stable people, and they say that anybody that they knew that had some money definitely got it from real estate. And yeah, another trainer that I know besides yourself, like I said, there's a few of you guys who actually moved into real estate. He's not really buying and flipping; he's just selling the properties. Yeah, where'd you get your first property? Is it out in California?
So I took a big risk about 3 years ago, and I lended someone X amount of money, and he said it was going to be for real estate. And I basically lent him the money, and I picked his brains as he went along with his projects. And I was like, you know what, I could do this myself.
Right.
So I started looking out here in Cali, and man, the prices out here are so jacked up. I can't afford it right now.
Okay.
Obviously, bigger profit margins,
Right.
but I don't have the capital to start out here. So I looked into Ohio, Cleveland,
Right.
and on my fourth flip now. I actually closed escrow about 2 months ago
Nice.
on two duplexes that I bought.
Nice. I mean, I think it's great that you didn't let the California market stop you from pursuing your goals because right now, even though you're not in California, you're still learning the skills that are going to be required when you put yourself in the position to be able to purchase in California. So, big ups on that.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually purchased my first rental property last year as soon as COVID hit
Okay.
in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay.
And literally everything was done remotely. I flew out there once, checked out the property, and filled it up the first day I listed the property.
All right.
And everything's been good, thank
I'm
God.
going to ask you a real quick question because this is always very important in business. Roughly, to start this real estate thing, your first property, how much cash did it take you to get your foot in the door?
It all depends on the price of the house. So
Okay.
I'll give you a quick breakdown on my Nevada property. It was a $400,000 house.
Okay.
And I had to put down 25% because it was a rental property.
Okay.
Now, I'm not good with math, so go ahead and do the math yourself.
100,000, 400,000 probably. Yeah, 25%, $100,000. I got you. So that's big
So
bucks.
I had to make sure I had that in the account ready to go. And
Okay.
you know what a lot of people don't think about is it doesn't matter how much money you have, man. If you're not showing income, if you're not paying your taxes,
Uh-huh.
you're not showing that you're able to afford the house, you're not going to get a loan for the house.
Right.
You know, I don't care how much cash you have under your pillow or in your closet. That does not mean shit.
Right. Well, unfortunately, that's one of the things that us personal trainers run into as far as, having the stuff under the pillow, so to speak, or under the mattress and not in the bank account. So in this situation, that's not going to work. So first property in Las Vegas, Nevada, and now you spoke about, what was that, Ohio area, so on and so on. So,
Cleveland.
yeah. Cleveland. Okay, good to go. All right. So being that you working or you investing out of the country, out of the state of California, if you could live anywhere in the world right now, where would it be and why?
If I could live anywhere in the world right now, it would be either Thailand or Tulum on the beach.
All right, still by the water, Thailand, Tulum. I got some pretty good images in my head from watching Instagram as far as both those places are concerned. So definitely good choices. Yeah, how many times you been down to Tulum already? Because I know you had to been there
Zero.
before. What?
Never.
Wow, you got to make that
I'm
happen.
on the same page as you. I've seen videos and pictures on Instagram, and
No. I've been to Tulum. I've been there already.
Oh, you have?
Yeah. So yeah, you got to make that happen, man. That's like a weekend trip, maybe 4 or 5 days, and you get your feel of that. But yeah, okay. Thailand, I haven't been there yet, but I see it's got some nice water over there. Them little boats that I see. So yeah, I definitely could probably make Thailand happen, and I think that's not too expensive either to go to Thailand.
It's not, man. It's super affordable. Go out there,
Okay.
live life.
All right. So normally I give my guests about a year before I revisit bringing them back onto the podcast. So the next time we talk, hopefully you got one of those things under your belt, if not both.
Absolutely, 100%.
Okay. So as a business owner, what would you say the greatest challenge is or was, starting the business or maintaining the business?
For me personally, it was maintaining the business.
Okay.
Like I don't know how to put this together, but when I first started Never Give Up training, I blew up within, I think I would say, a month or two.
Okay.
And it was just all uphill from there. It was the maintaining part and sticking to my schedule that was the hard part.
Okay. So
you know what it's like. How long you been training for?
over 20 years. Over 20 years.
Okay.
So
you're like double the amount of what I've been in, and dealing with different energies every single day and building a relationship with your clients, it gets draining. It's like dating.
Right.
I'm literally dating 12 people Monday through Friday, 12 different people.
Right.
And it gets overwhelming.
Right. I could sit here and say that I definitely control the energies that I deal with on a daily basis. But even still, you have your ups and downs, and one of the job descriptions, so to speak, is that listener or that therapist, so to speak. So we definitely hear a lot of stuff, and we got to know how to hear it in that moment, and then the next hour come, we got to be able to shake that off and move on to the next situation. So it's not as draining. But yes, being that we're talking about fitness, we finally get back on the fitness thing. You said your companies Never Give Up, right?
Never Give Up Fitness. Yep.
Never Give Up Fitness. How long? How old is the company?
In the books, it's been about 5 years.
Okay. All
But
right.
when I first started training, everyone knew me as Never Give Up.
Okay. That was over at any time, right? That's when you first started, or did you have some years under your
This
belt before?
was this was at Bally's Total. I started at Bally's
Right.
Total
Okay.
Fitness.
Okay. Yeah, I remember Bally's. Okay. So as
I
for
think a lot. I think a lot of OG trainers started in Bally's.
right, and Bally's is no longer Bally's, of course. Out here in California, Bally's is now what is that?
LA Fitness.
LA Fitness. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah, yeah. Definitely OGs know about Bally's. Who's the? I guess people want to know. Obviously, your personal trainer. Who's the biggest celeb you've trained ever?
I can't really talk about it,
All right,
but
we can't talk about that. I
uh,
totally understand. I totally understand. What's the most again a word that I don't use a lot, but I should. What's the most I guess influential, inspirational client you trained? What was the situation that made them stand out a little bit more than everybody else?
so I think when I the first year I started training as an independent personal trainer,
Hmm.
I met Stephanie, who's in a wheelchair,
Okay.
and her story uplifted me, and I would say changed my life for the better. And Steph, if you're listening to this, I'm thankful for you and thank you so much.
Hmm.
Um, and she introduced me to Chelsea Hill, who's a dancer,
Okay.
and she's also in a wheelchair, along with I think 6 or 8 other girls.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm super thankful I've met all of them and trained all of them, and having them in my life
Right.
opened up a lot of doors.
Okay.
So to answer your question, they motivated me and uplifted me in ways I can't even put into words, man. Just
Okay.
I could sit here for an hour and talk about them.
Ah, all right. All right. The next episode. Next time
Next
I got you on
episode,
the show.
make sure to check out their social media. That's enough motivation.
Okay. Throw it out there. I mean, listeners want to know.
I don't know their handles at the
Okay.
top of
Maybe
my
we'll
head,
be able to
but if
put
they
it
go
in
on,
the we'll put it in the description once we post the episode on IG if you want to do that so they can definitely reach out and see those motivational stories that you're talking about.
absolutely, they're all over my page.
Got it. So 3 words that I like to use interchangeably are motivation, inspiration, and discipline. I sort of have my order on how I like to use them. One's more important than the latter. As far as you're concerned, motivation, inspiration, discipline. What is discipline to you?
Discipline is being consistent.
Okay, consistency.
Consistency, waking up, even if you don't feel like doing it and you got to do it and you do it. That's discipline.
Okay, motivation.
Motivation, shit. You
No
got me here.
sweat. We'll come back to motivation. What about inspiration?
And you got me on inspiration too.
All right, no worries, no worries. For me, honestly, the most important, and everybody that listens to my podcast, they already know. For me, it's discipline, because for me, discipline is internal. I don't have to look for any external sources. For me, motivation and inspiration is cool, but it's external. It's like I got to look for something else outside of myself to get it done. So discipline is my number one word, and we'll just roll with that for right now.
Perfect.
All right. 3 people, dead or alive, that you can sit down in a room with right now and talk with. Who are they, and what would you ask them?
I've been asked this question before,
Okay, so you should be
and
ready to go, because normally this
I,
stumps people.
I have an answer. I have an answer for you. It's one person,
Okay.
and it's the younger version of myself.
Okay.
And what I would tell him is, don't stress so much. Everything always falls into place. Stay consistent with what you're good at, and make your connections.
Okay. Now let's take this to the next level, because I always ask this question, but I never really push it. Can you imagine you right now being able to go back and meet with your younger self? Give me the situation. Where would you be? You meet him in the gym, you meet him at the club, you meet him at the house, and how do you
It
think you respond to seeing the older you trying to walk up and be like, "Hey man, look, I'm you in the future." Explain that situation to me.
All right, what age are we talking? Because I was all over the place
Hey,
growing up.
this is you. This is your story. I mean, you
So
said
I'm going to a jail cell. I'm going behind the cop car. I'm going to the principal's office. Are you catching me jumping out my parents'
no, no, no.
window
You
in the
you
middle
tell
of the
me.
night?
You tell me. I mean, you right now.
Oh,
How old are you right now?
I'm 29.
Okay, so 29. So who you going back to talk to? 15, 20?
Yeah.
Who you going back to talk to?
Let's backtrack to, I would say my prime. I think it was like 17 years old, 16 years old.
Okay.
So the younger me would definitely listen and take what I have to say to heart.
Okay.
Because growing up, I didn't have a mentor or someone I could look up to.
Okay.
Um, I was hanging out with the wrong crowd. I was out drinking, smoking, doing what teenagers were doing back in the day,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And so having someone come up to me and tell me that would definitely strike me in a positive way.
Right.
And I would listen to myself.
You know, I think about that a lot. If I knew now what I knew then is a term that often gets thrown around. But I also think that being a teenager is a phase that you go through. And I mean, I guess there were some good teenagers out there. My crowd, we kind of, we were a little rebellious. But I think that's a phase that you have to be lucky to make it through. Yeah, you're gonna do some stupid shit. You're gonna do the alcohol thing. You're gonna do the what is it, the drag racing, the fast cars. I mean, that's stuff that I did when I was growing. That's just a phase that you got to hope you make it through. But I think most of the people that I know, they were a little rambunctious when they were, 15, 16, 17 years old. So,
Well, yeah, if you ask me if I go back and change anything, absolutely not.
no,
I am
yeah,
so
no, yeah,
happy and
yeah.
thankful for everything.
Yeah, no regrets. And when I think about that question, if I could go back and change anything, going back to change even the smallest detail would alter where I am right now in my life. And there's no way in the world that I want to change anything about my life right now. So yeah, I'm definitely with you on that. That if I could go back and change something, I wouldn't do it at all. I'm happy about
I
my
agree.
my progress and my current position in life. Why do you think you are the way you are? So you sort of kind of already answered that as far as, you just said you grew up, without the father figure or whatever, and, with the wrong crowd, so on and so on. But I always like to break up the questions a little bit and throw some little crazy stuff in here. So if you had to make the choice between Adidas or Nike, which one would it be?
Adidas.
Adidas, three stripes. Okay.
What is? Who says checks over? No, no,
Hey,
no.
that's no,
Stripes.
no, no. So Adidas is the crazy dude. What's his name? Kanye. Yeah, and the Nike is Champagne Poppy. What the Lover Boy or some shit? Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so okay, you down with the Yeezys and the Yay? I got you. The three stripes.
Yeah.
Good to go. What has been one of your greatest challenges in life?
Honestly, that's a hard question. Greatest challenges in my life is something that I'm going through right now is just working on myself, showing myself self-love.
Good answer. Yeah.
This year has been probably the hardest years of my life.
Okay.
And I'm super thankful for all the pain that was in my life this year because it's leveled me up into a different monster that I envisioned myself being
Okay.
years ago.
Okay. Through pain comes growth. Period. I mean, you don't grow.
Exactly.
You don't grow in the comfort zone. So learn to
So,
learn to work your way through it. And you just answered the question before about what was your greatest challenge, and you said just you learning to be you. And I honestly think that was an excellent answer because all that other stuff is external, is temporary. Doesn't really matter if you don't know how to control you, if you don't know how to operate you. If you can't control your emotions or your eating or your drinking, nothing else really matters. So yeah, greatest challenge is learning how to control yourself, how to be you. Good job. Big ups. I like that one.
100%.
I like that one.
100%.
So you spoke about your client or being a person, one of the people that has inspired you during your life. Outside of that, outside of work, who's inspired you the most in your life?
Myself, man. I don't have anyone I look up to. I don't have a celebrity that I get starstruck over. A lot of people, I don't know. I don't have someone outside of training world who inspires me. I would say myself.
And nothing's wrong with that. Yeah, okay. So you inspire you. I would ask you to elaborate more, but I don't know if you can. It's just simple. You inspire you. So that's pretty much it. Okay, here's a good one. What's the last mistake you made, and what'd you learn from it?
Oh shit! Last mistake I made, and what can I learn from it?
I mean, I'll give you a little while to think about that. The last mistake I made, I'm a little older, and it seems like I always end up throwing my freaking age out when I have a conversation. But it is what it is. 47, and the last mistake I made was in the gym, Arnold presses. Anytime I do that exercise, I jack my shoulder up for a couple days. So the last mistake, Arnold presses. What I learned from it, maybe to go a little bit lighter on shoulders because I'm not the athlete I used to be, but still go on shoulders just a little bit lighter. So that's the last mistake I made. It's nothing real deep, it's just pretty simple, but that's the last
Okay.
mistake I made that I could think about.
I got one for you then.
Okay.
Last mistake that I could think about right now is I was training jujitsu,
Okay.
and my body was tired. Going 3-4 days in a row nonstop and training at the same time, your body gets tired.
Okay.
And I made the mistake by going that extra day when I told myself not to, and
Right.
I ended up seriously getting injured and getting a herniated disc, bulging
Okay.
disc, and it threw me out for about 3-4 months.
Gotcha. Okay. That's a good lesson in life. Listen to your body.
So,
Yeah.
so I guess we got something in common.
Right. That's it. That's a pretty common injury actually, because I remember years ago I was in Utah. I was on the slopes. I was snowboarding, and it was like the last run of the day. And this one chick was like, "Okay, I want to go up and get this last run, the last run of the day." I mean, pretty exhausted. You've been out there on the slopes all day. It's time to really just go. And she just wanted to get that last run in, and she freaking just tore her leg all out of socket. They had to bring the freaking helo and the medevac and the snowmobiles and all that stuff up there to pick her up and all. So I guess the moral of the story is, when it comes to fitness and training, you definitely got to listen to your body.
I actually bring up good hurt often. It's like I'll be training a client and they'll be like, "Oh my God, it hurts." I'm like, you know what that is? It's a good hurt. Look them up.
It's so I don't know, cliche is the word I want to use, but it's so just common. Yeah. I mean, if you've heard a podcast, you know that I used to be a track and field athlete, and I love winning, but I hate training. So training is the good hurt. So you got to do it.
Love it, man.
Back,
Terrence, you know what?
what's up?
Go. No, I just wanted to say, you know what? Kudos to you, bro. Because I remember when I first met you, you were just getting Good Hurt started, I believe. And I
Okay.
remember you would bring sample T-shirts.
All right.
And man, that's all you were talking about. I remember how passionate you were about it, and the quality on your clothing is just unmatched.
Thank you, sir.
And so I just much respect and love, man. I seriously, I took that in, and seeing someone go from one thing to another, it's so inspiring.
I appreciate that, Sammy. And I was thinking about you before I got on the podcast with you and why I chose you for this next episode. And it's just that I've seen you grow. I've seen a couple guys grow up over the years, but you've been one of them that I've seen grow. And it's just all positivity and love. I think you were an EMT at one point, and yeah, you train the clients in the wheelchair, and you love your dogs, and it's just. Your energy is nothing but positive, man. And I just think that's a great thing. I think anybody that's fortunate enough to have you in their life is lucky. So
Thank you, brother.
yeah.
Thank you. That's what, you know what? I was actually thinking about this the other day. I was talking about this with a client. I was like, look, it has to do with training. How's the trainer making you feel? Yeah, anyone can sit here and get you shredded, get you fit, get you in shape, but how do they make you feel internally?
Okay.
If that's a positive to begin with, you're on the right path.
Yes.
I always tell new clients before I even take them on as clients. If you're mentally not there, I can't train you. It starts within yourself.
Right.
You have to be clear. You have to be happy. You have to be motivated internally. I could only motivate you for so long.
Right.
But the ones who've lasted with me for 6, 7, 8, 9+ years, internally they're clear. I don't know if that makes sense, but I'm sure.
I understand exactly what you're saying. I mean, some people look for, and I think I had this conversation a couple podcasts ago with the Tanyan Demps, and it's like some people have to look for that external person to bring them to the place that they need to be, because they can't do it themselves. I think D'Artagnan was saying that one of his missions in fitness is to help people manifest their full potential. So it's kind of tricky, because you don't want to take on that energy of you not being clear, because that's a lot of work for you to do to help that person sort of get to where they need to be at, right? But at the same time, That's kind of sort of a small portion of the role that we play. I mean, if
Yeah.
you have to say we're type A's. We know we got our shit together. Everybody does not, and sometimes not all the time, because you can only take on the loads that you can bear. Anything that's gonna take you out of your high vibration, you can't assume that responsibility. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. If you can sort of just see that they're on the way, just to give them that little extra kick in the ass, that's that. Yeah, that's definitely a good positive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a handful of them. There's good people. I recently met someone who actually reminded me of you. His name's Sam, personal trainer as well.
Sam Stevenson over there in Calabasas, Woodland Hills area.
Yep, and I think he did track, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
he's just a beast all around. I mean, if I was, yeah, he's an animal. He's yeah, he's a strong cat.
Good guy.
Yeah, he came to one of the powerlifting meets a couple years ago and did 600 pounds off the floor with no belt, no strap. So that's just to give you a little information about who
Yeah,
he is and what
I'm
he's
not
capable of.
surprised.
Yeah, and his energy, just like yours, it's off the charts as far as high vibration. Just all around good person. Man, I think I didn't really think about how blessed and how fortunate I am to have the network that I have. But yeah, Sam's good energy. So financially, let's go back to some financial questions for these young people that may be inquiring. Bitcoin, did you buy it? What are your thoughts on Bitcoin?
Look, I'm more like traditional old school.
Real estate,
I ra-
right?
yeah, I'd rather save my money and invest in real estate or stocks.
Right. Okay.
I do have some crypto that I did buy into maybe like 6, 7 years ago, but
Gotcha.
I'm not feeding into it. I haven't even opened the app to see where I'm at.
Right. That's a good
But
thing.
no,
Yeah, I heard a couple stories when I was, on the little Bitcoin, what is that thing? Clubhouse, where some chick bought a bunch of Bitcoin or what is it, crypto, and then lost her password phrases for like a couple years and then came back and she was on a couple $1 million. So if it works out that way, great.
yeah, to
We'll
each their
take it.
own.
Yeah, to each their own. Cat or dog person?
Both more dog. I feel like I
Okay.
connect better with dogs.
Okay. You got a dog right now?
I had two. I had to put one of them down in February, and the other one I put down last year.
Okay, so you don't have any right now though.
No dogs right now, but I can't wait to get another one. I told myself after I travel a little bit more and get some things off my chest, I'm gonna commit to another dog.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's definitely like having a kid, so to speak. Mercedes Benz or BMW?
Neither. I'm a truck guy.
Okay, so what do you drive right now?
I got a built Jeep Wrangler,
Okay.
and I'm looking into picking up a classic, hopefully within the next week or two.
Nice. When you say classic, you mean like a classic pickup or like a classic muscle car?
Classic pickup,
Okay. Okay. Chevy or Ford?
Chevy.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what's up. Chevy, Ford, fix, repair daily. We don't want to be dealing with that stuff. Yeah. All right. So, Sammy, I asked you earlier about discipline, inspiration, motivation. Good hurt, I think, because you asked me about my company. Sort of, kind of, I think maybe scares a couple people away because it sort of refers to pain, and a lot of people don't like pain. Why don't you go ahead and tell me what you think, how you handle, how you feel about pain?
Pain. No, you know what? To answer your question, I think pain is my biggest motivation,
Okay.
and I'll tell you why. Because I experienced pain in January this year, and
Okay.
when I'm talking about pain, I'm talking about like on my knees, crying in my bedroom alone, just fucking begging to come out of this dark hole I was in.
Okay.
And I'm thankful for it. If I could go back, I would do it again. As crazy as that sounds, but it leveled me up into a different beast. I don't know how to
Right.
explain it.
Right.
You know,
I
getting
understand what you're
getting.
talking about because I'm the same. So you got to explain it for those people that can't understand. You got to get a
I
little
mean,
more specific. What pain
long
did to you?
story. Long story short, this year I lost a 7 year relationship, friendship. I lost my dog, who
Ah,
I had for 10 years. I had to move to a new city. I have two businesses that I'm running that need my full time attention. That all fell on my lap within 4 weeks.
when it rains, it storms.
I've never believed that until I had to experience it. And it's so true. And I remember there was 2 weeks. Terrence, I never ever take off work. I'll be dying and I'll still go in for clients. You
Right.
know,
Right.
I missed birthdays, funerals, weddings, everything just to go in for my clients because that's how committed I am to my business.
Okay.
And I had to take off 2 weeks. I was literally a walking zombie. Couldn't smile, couldn't cry, didn't
Mm.
eat, didn't want to work out, nothing. I was a
Right.
walking zombie. Took 2 weeks off, and you know what ayahuasca is?
Yes, I do.
So I started my first ayahuasca journey in February,
Okay.
and I've gone through 6 sittings now. And at the end of the day, it's all trying to find yourself
So
and
hold on.
who you.
I know what ayahuasca is. I have yet to do it. It's on my list of things to do. But you say you did 6 settings. Do you mean 6 different trips?
Yeah, so I've done ayahuasca six times already with a
Damn.
shaman.
Okay.
Yeah, I got in deep, man.
Six
It was
times in what time span? 6 months? A year?
with
Damn.
within 5 months.
Okay.
So
Because
yeah, it went.
I guess it all depends on who introduces you to ayahuasca. Because my understanding or what someone told me is when you experience this, you have choices. It's funny, my last post was choices and chances or chances and choices. You have choices. And if you could go and see some stuff that is realer than what is real here, you may choose that I don't want to come back here. And I don't think I'm ready to have to make that choice. So that's why I've yet to experience this. But to hear that you've done it 6 times in 5 months, you
Yeah.
know,
I
another
mean,
reason why I respect you very much.
You're talking to someone who's never done any drugs, any type of psychedelics, anything that's ever taken me to a different dimension my
Right,
entire life. I've
right,
probably smoked weed 6 or 7 times my whole life,
right.
you know, and I dove right into ayahuasca. And I remember sitting with my shaman and telling him that, and he's like, "Are you sure you want to do this? Like,
Right,
what the hell are you going through that brought you straight to like the
right.
freaking prime?"
Yes,
I don't. It's
right,
not a drug. It's a plant medicine,
right,
you
right. I
know.
understand. Yeah, I know what it is.
But I get asked all the time, like, "What did it do for you? What did you feel?" Da, da, da. It's so hard to explain. It's just something you got to experience
Exactly. That's the only
yourself.
way. You have to experience it yourself.
But I'll tell you one thing. It's a tool. You know,
Right.
I went into my trip, and things from my childhood came to play,
Okay.
and I was seeing visuals that I've never seen my entire life,
Right.
and those visuals all have meanings.
Right.
And when you start studying those visuals and what they actually mean and why you went through the trip you went through, things start flashing back, and unanswered questions get answered. It's a tool.
Right.
I look at any psychedelic medicine or any plant-based medicine as a tool.
Right.
You
And I
know,
understand what you say when you keep saying it's a tool because you have to wake up, you have to come back to this reality. So you have to take what you learn in that trip, in that situation, and use it to make this experience here better. Right? So based
yeah,
on what you're talking about, we started out by asking, what was pain, and you gave a great example of what pain is or was for you. You lost a relationship of 7 years. You had to put your dog down. This is all some very serious stuff. You had these 2 businesses that you started on your shoulders. So you sort of kind of was at like a rock bottom period, and you was like, okay, I don't know what to do. I need answers. And you were,
yes, I dove right in.
yeah, I think you were fortunate enough to find that, for that to be available for you, because I don't think anything on this realm could have helped you understand your situation better at that time than ayahuasca could have. You see what I'm saying? Or plant
Exactly,
medicine or something on another level, you know.
exactly.
So yeah, I understand. I understand completely.
I mean, to each their own. Some people are against it. Some people don't believe it. But if it's calling you, or if you've been curious to try it, Terrence, I would highly recommend it.
I hear you. I think one of the things holding me back was, I told you again that I have a choice when I'm there, and I don't want to have that choice. Is that I have more responsibilities now. If I was a single man like yourself, not really, no kids or no wife or anything like that, I would have done it already. But when someone told me that I'm going to see things and I'm going to have choices, it kind of freaked me out a little bit because I'm like, I don't want to make the wrong choice.
I mean, for me, literally, I take like 2 or 3 cups, and I feel like I'm just drunk, and I'm seeing visuals for 12 hours.
Right,
And then when that 12 hours is done, you come back to reality. I never got stuck into it, but I'm super sensitive to energy now, especially other people's energies. And I've always been super in tune with energy, but it's like 10 times worse. I could feel bad energy from a mile away.
right. I mean, that's the real shit. That's the real stuff. All this other
It
stuff
is.
is just distraction.
It
It's
is.
it's just
And
distraction.
it's not like I took it and you go out and party. You're literally you take the medicine and you sit in a bed for 12 hours
Right,
and lay down and you just think. And I can't put it into words, man, but it
right.
was a good experience.
Well, I
Um,
understand what you're talking about because I have done some things, in my life. So I understand what you're talking about. That would probably be my next level, honestly, based on where I'm at right now in life. But yeah, more respect to you, man. You definitely growing up fine. You're growing up very well. It's just all that stuff's just gonna make you a better package, when the time comes again.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're all working on ourselves. I don't care how old you are, how much money you got, where you're at in life. If you stop working on yourself, that's the day you die.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought about this today. We're always learning.
Yep.
You're always learning. Every day is a
Hmm.
learning experience. So that's never gonna stop. And I've spoken this to people all the time. The the better you get at managing you, the better life's gonna be.
Yep.
So
It all
so
starts within yourself.
yeah, so that was just part of you getting better at being Sammy. So okay. So you said it was very late in your life before you got involved in any type of, medicines or, blah blah blah. So what is one of your vices? What's something that just got your ass by the balls right now? You just can't shake it.
I have to just keep pushing forward, man. I'm not right now. I'm not happy internally. I
Okay.
struggle. There's nights where I'm in bed without my dog and without my ex, and I'm just
Right.
in bed alone. That shit is hard, man. Imagine
Right.
going, like going 10 years with two people in bed with you to
Right.
nothing, to just you. You know how hard it is to just lay in there alone and just fight the urge.
Right.
Um,
I always talk about peaks and valleys, night and day, the opposites. Yeah, and I think one of the things that I taught myself is to quickly be able to recognize when my vibration is getting low and to turn that around. And I'm just sharing these tips because, obviously they're positive tips and anybody could use them. The quickest thing that you can do, or the one of the best things that you can do, is when you learn yourself to be able to really see quickly or as soon as possible when you're not in a high vibrational state and to fix it. So
Absolutely.
so that just
100%,
just
man.
comes back to you learning and knowing yourself. So
And there's
no.
been a lot of tools,
Right.
that I got into recently. One thing for me is meditation. I recently got into meditating this year, and riding my motorcycle. Those things help
Right.
ground me again.
I guess
Let me
that.
ask you something.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
What's the most important thing that you have in your life?
The most important thing I have in my life is my peace. Not to say that my wife and my kids aren't important, but if my peace is not in place, I won't be able to give them peace. You understand what I'm trying to say?
I love it.
If I'm fucked up, then I'm gonna put out fucked up vibes, and that's just gonna be a fucked up situation, and we don't want to do that. So my peace.
I love it. Do you meditate?
I was gonna elaborate on that topic. I've been in and out of meditation for years, and when I first started to meditate, it was the hands in the position, the crisscross applesauce, the
Yeah.
candles, the incense. That's how I started. But as I evolved, I learned that meditation for me is just my quiet time or my space. When I drive back and forth from Palmdale to the valley, those 45 minutes to an hour in my car, for me, can't be considered as meditation because
Exactly.
I don't turn the radio on. I look at the
Nope.
mountains. I just listen. I just think. I have internal dialogue. Internal dialogue. I'm talking to myself. I'm answering questions. I'm figuring out what's next. So,
There you go.
yeah, that's my meditation now.
That's meditation. A lot of people think that you do have to sit there crisscross applesauce, closing your eyes,
Right.
fingers, No, you can meditate, just like you just said. You can meditate while you're driving,
Right. Yeah.
But dig deeper. When you're meditating, what do you do?
if I talk about textbook, when I meditate, I'm supposed to quiet all my thoughts or something. But that's not meditation for me. My meditation for me is the internal dialogue, figuring stuff out, talking about what's next. That's meditation for me. That's what I do when I meditate. I'm not trying to listen to my breath. I'm just talking about, okay. I mean, I told you earlier that good hurt for me was an outlet. It was a way that I was manifesting my potential, right?
Yeah.
95% of the designs and stuff that I come up with, I get them at night when I'm sleeping. I'll just wake up, grab my phone, and make a note because I will not remember it if I don't. If I wake up the next day and I didn't write it down, it's gone. And where I am in life, I know that the universe is unlimited. And that means that every single freaking human being on earth can have what they want if they know how to tap into it. The universe is unlimited. So when I'm in those meditative states or those sleeping states, it's me being less distracted than I am when I'm awake, because there's a lot more distractions that I focus on when I'm awake. But when I'm asleep, there's less distractions and I have a greater connection with the universe, which is sending me what I like to do, what I came here to do, to design clothing. You know, it gives me those, I'm like, okay, I like that saying, you know, and yeah, that's what meditation is for me.
So the reason I asked what the most important thing is, because I've been asked that question by my friend Joel.
Okay.
He asked me, he's like, Sammy, what's the most important thing in your life? And I didn't really have an answer for him. I mean, I gave him little answers like you just did. But to me, the most important thing in our lives that we all have is our breath. You know, what's the first thing you do when you're born? You take a deep breath in or out. You know, what's the last thing you do when you're dying, or when you get put down? Is you take one last breath and you let it all out.
Right.
The most important thing for me that I've learned this year especially was to control my breathing. Because if I can't control my breathing, my thoughts start going crazy too. If I calm my breathing down, my thoughts calm down a little bit. If I'm angry and I'm controlling my breathing at the same time, I'm not going to be as angry. I'm going to be calm.
Okay.
So one thing that I've been working on these last 6 months is breathing. And that falls into the same category as meditating. So maybe when you're driving home, focus on your breathing. You know, be thankful for that breath you're taking in and out.
Okay.
And it was a game changer for me. So the most important thing in my life is my breath. And I'll always have that answer.
Okay. I like that. Breath. All right, Sammy, man, it's been a good one. Man. I mean, this is the last episode, as I mentioned earlier, of the first season. This is episode 12. But what I want to do is, the season 2 is going to be video and audio. So I'm going to be over in the brick and mortar, Good Hurt the shop, set it up with the mics, and, you know, make sure you dress fresh, which I know you have no problem with. Very, very fashionable young dude. And we'll sit down. You know, when you're ready for another episode, I'd love to have you. And we can sort of pick up where we left off. I mean, I normally try to keep these podcasts around 45 minutes to an hour because people have short attention spans. But yeah, as always, I'm so thankful for your time, your energy, and your experience and your knowledge. You can go ahead and shout out your social media or any type of connects that you want to have for the listeners to check you out or follow up with you on. And from there, we'll go ahead and just call it a night.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for having me on. Out of everyone you know, thank you for choosing me as well. Social media, never _give up, or just Google me.
Oh, he can say that now. Google me big time.
Google me. You don't know who I am, just Google my name. My Yelp page will come up.
Good to go. All right, man.
Thank you, Terrence. Have a good one, brother.
Hey, Sammy, you too. I'll talk to you soon, man. Later.
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yep.